Well, this is one of my favorite segments of the entire show every single week. We're joined now by former Notre Dame and NFL safety Matthias Farley, a first-timer legend here on ABC 57 Kickoff. Welcome.
Yeah, awesome.
Matthias.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks
super
for
good to
coming
be
by.
here. I love y'all's show.
Thank you.
Honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, we're
Well,
glad you're here.
my favorite part of this segment is getting to rattle off all of the stats, remind our viewers of just how good you were back in the day. So here we go. In 4 seasons at Notre Dame, you recorded 192 tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, 8 interceptions, and 13 pass defenses, 1 forced fumble, and you just finished up a 7-year NFL career. Awesome. I could go on all day with your NFL stats as well, but we got to kind of get to this interview, you know.
I don't remember actually having that many tackles. That's nice to see.
Well, you know, today you're here, and you've actually got some personal connections to Miami, Ohio, by the way, and you played for Red Hawks head coach Chuck Martin when he was an assistant here. Did he recruit you?
He was involved in the recruiting process, but he wasn't my specific recruiter, but I mean, I talked to him all the time. And
he would have been DB's coach when you first came in and then transitioned over to OC.
So right when I switched to defense, so I missed him. Yeah.
And then you also played with Robert Blanton, who's now currently the safeties coach for the Red Hawks.
He's also from Charlotte. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. He went to high school like 15 minutes from me. Yeah.
Oh, that's
small
awesome.
World. Super small world.
Your old teammate, we talked about Evan Sharpley, former Notre Dame quarterback earlier, and I brought this up to him the other night, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. The Notre Dame defense right now, true or false, and why? Notre Dame's defense right now can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the country. We even had Manti on a few weeks ago, and he said they're one of the best in the nation. Do you agree?
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Yeah, I think it all starts up front, and you also have an incredible secondary, which allows, the front seven to get unleashed, and the guys can cover behind it, which, it just frees up your entire playbook as a defense. So, and they run to the ball. You watch it, it's very obvious on tape for sure.
Well, you mentioned it, but you kind of similar to this year's Xavier Watts. You came in as a wide receiver, but then you made that transition over to safety. Xavier Watts doing the exact same thing. You guys make it look easy, like it was no-brainer to make that switch. But I have to imagine there's quite a bit that goes into making a position transition like that.
Well, I think it's funny to be mentioned in the same, echelon as Xavier Watts. He's unbelievable. It's a big transition, I think, though. You look at him, he obviously has great ball skills, having played receiver. He's a leader. He carries himself super, above board off the field. I haven't met him personally, but, his reputation precedes him. So he's an incredible player. He always makes plays. He's always around the ball. You can tell he's making a lot of checks back there, and, that's what you want out of a safety ultimately.
Is that one of those things where you just do whatever the coaches say they need you to do?
Yeah, and also, there's – for myself, when I was here, I knew that I would never play wide receiver. We had Theo Riddick, we had Robbie Toma, we had Will Fuller, we had all these guys that were like, right in front of me. I was like, there's no chance. So for me, it was a way to get on the field, in a different route. I'm sure X could have played receiver at a high level, but it's working out pretty well for him, I would say, so far.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, also, I read a really cool article about you, and it was you had the opportunity to start for the Carolina Panthers, and it's your hometown, you're a Charlotte guy, and that was a tough season, and you guys ended up losing that game, and I think fell to 0-6 at that point. And you stayed back, and you hung out, and you picked up all of the trash in the locker room. What was sort of behind that? What was the significance of that for you?
Well, for me, it's just about, you want to leave places better than you found them. Life's going to be up and down. There's going to be roller coasters. Obviously the game did not go how we wanted it to go, but to lose a game and then leave a locker room, not in at least decent order for whoever had to come and clean up after us just didn't seem right. So I just, I didn't really think anything of it at the time. I was just like, well, I have some messy stuff, and then I just started picking up and just kept going.
Let's go back to this football team before we get to your future. Let's talk about Notre Dame's future a little bit. And how do you – let's look at the NIU game, right? The defense gave up some key yards at the end of that game. How do you as a team regroup from that loss at home and rebuild the season off of that?
Yeah, I would say they started that last week with Purdue. I think, going out there and handling Purdue the way we did last week is huge for the confidence of everybody, and it's, a wake-up call, and you have everybody's going to come into Notre Dame Stadium and play their best game. It doesn't matter if it's, a MAC school, if it's a tiny school that you've never heard. Everyone's going to come and play their best game. So, as Notre Dame, you have to show up and, prepare like everyone's going to give you everything they have every week. And, luckily it happened early, right? And I think that gives us an opportunity to, continue to grow, continue to build, and win at home.
What's next for Matthias Farley after your NFL career?
Yeah, I'm planning to get into wealth management, so I'm studying for the licensing exams for that. I'm 32. I'm super grateful to get to spend every day with my wife, Sarah, and son, Holt. They're here. He's running around with cars somewhere. So, just super fortunate to get the time with him while he's young and really soaking that up. And 2025, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and it's a special day. It's Holt's first Notre Dame football game.
The Kool-Aid is being poured heavily. I have all the documentation to just flood his memory bank with. You've always loved Notre Dame, dude. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So it's been a really special weekend.
Thank you, Matthias.
Yeah, have fun.
Here.
Thanks for having me.
Come back anytime.
I will.
All right.